just right below the freeway speeds. Don't know the original want. Does appear that there may be a driver and somebody else. Of course, there's always going to be a driver, but there's somebody else inside the vehicle. Right now, though, we're just kind of listening in, watching along, seeing what's going on. We're continuing now, though. We're going to be eastbound on 223rd Street, so we're basically paralleling the 105 freeway, and our speeds about normal. I would say probably 35 miles an hour. And, you know, if we keep this up, we're going to start getting into the Compton area. Don't know if they're going to hand it off to the sheriffs. Well, Jeff, the car that they're chasing is going to be a Honda. It looked like a Honda Accord, probably a couple years old. Right now, though, the one that you can see that there's a multiple LAPD vehicles right there. I want to kind of stay tight on the car because they are asking if they can do something to bring this thing to an end, and gosh only knows we don't want to miss that. But if right now what I can tell you though is some of those other LAPD vehicles do not have those reds, those ambers, the light bars. That's what they call them. I know that we try to stay away from using the technical terms, but the reds and blues on top of the car. So that might have been one of the reasons why they were waiting for a little bit to actually get behind the car. They wanted an official LAPD vehicle like that one right there with all the lights and sirens on it to make that stop. Right now, though, still running down 223rd Street, hasn't varied at all, making our way, getting into the Compton area pretty soon. If we keep up these speeds, I would guess we've passed Wilmington, and we might be almost at Alameda right now. Speeds normal, traffic extremely light. LAPD, they're chasing this guy, and right now we're still working on the reason why. Well, you know, that is always the big thing about any one of these pursuits is why is this person chasing? Why they want to stop them? And, you know, right now we're hearing, it's unconfirmed, but, you know, this is how it happens, especially in something as fluid as this, so it's moving constantly. We're hearing that this possibly a stolen vehicle. So he's definitely not driving it like he stole it. That's the first red light we've seen him just completely ignore and run through. But you can see how LAPD taking that caution, even though with their lights and sirens going, they did come to almost to a complete stop there at that light before they went through. So stolen vehicle, that's probably what the original one is. We're coming up on geez, we're making some really good time out here tonight. We're coming up on the 710 already as we're working our way out actually into the Bixby Knolls area as we're continuing on. And the 223 was 223, and now it's probably going to become Wardlow if anybody knows the area this well. But basically working our way into the Long Beach area if it just continues on. Stolen vehicle, Honda. And we're going to try and see, maybe we can see in through that front windshield and see if we can see if there's 2 or 3 or even more people inside. It does seem to be just maybe two people in the front. We're going to double check that here in a minute. LAPD, though, they want to stop this car and continue on right now. They're chasing them, and they got the helicopter in the air and a number of vehicles behind them, and lights and sirens. No traffic this evening for a Friday night. That's almost amazing in itself. Well, it all started, basically, they got behind that vehicle, wanted to pull it over, was on the freeways. That's where it actually started, so that's kind of unusual in itself. Lights and sirens came on. That car refused to stop. I'm kind of working on it right now. I'm trying to get an exact location where we are. He did make a southbound turn off of Wardlow. Now we're definitely heading into the Long Beach area. I'm sure LAPD is going to start talking to the Long Beach folks down there and letting them know that we're coming their direction. I've got to be honest honest with you, kind of just using the map this evening, can't really hear these guys. And I would guess that we're probably on Santa Fe, even though this is a smaller road. We're working our way, very residential, but definitely getting into the Long Beach area here, and the speeds are just about the same, probably going about 30, 40 miles an hour this evening, and LAPD still behind this vehicle. They got the helicopter above, and then some traffic coming up here as we're coming up to a major intersection. Let's see what this guy's going to do. There we go, there we go. Oh, no! Well, right now I can tell you that we're going to be eastbound on Willow. Eastbound on Willow, definitely established into the North Long Beach area. LAPD right behind him, and you saw that one LAPD vehicle really started getting up close to him, and apparently going to try it again right now. Just almost made contact, basically knocking on that door, and it does seem like somebody is inside there, a passenger's inside there. Now this is going to get really interesting, turning into a parking complex right there, getting a little squirrely. That, you know, officers from LAPD, they're always going to be worried about safety. Even if it's safety of the suspect, they're not going to want to injure anybody in any of these chases at all. Right now, though, this parking lot, not the place where they want to have this type of confrontation. So, you can see he's working his way out of that parking lot, but definitely when that officer got a little aggressive there, came up, basically knocked the back of that car, that suspect changed his mind, his driving habits changed. Now he's starting to get a little bit more aggressive, and we've got, you know what, it probably is just the driver. It's just been the way the light's been playing on it. Just the driver this evening. The speed's increasing, driving getting a little bit more erratic in the North Long Beach area. We're back southbound, right? Atlantic. Well, you know, if they're backing off right now, I don't have it. I'm just being really honest right now. I don't have any inside information. We're southbound on Atlantic, I can tell you that. You can see some people trying to make their turns right there. This guy just blowing right through that intersection. LAPD still right behind him. So we are definitely established in the Long Beach area. It went off of Atlantic, and now we're on Pacific Coast Highway. We're making an eastbound turn on the Pacific Coast. Got to watch those turns. We lost the microwave signal. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to be back on southbound. No, we were on PCH. He just went southbound once again. I'm just kind of looking at it. I think we're back on Atlantic. It might be Long Beach Boulevard. And making another sharp turn there. Every time we give a shot out of location, this guy's going to make a turn, it seems like. Here we go back into like a little bit more of a residential neighborhood. If you know the Long Beach area, you can see how they have this parking out here around the apartments. It gets very, very tight. Also, another thing that the LAPD is going to be looking at, a very dangerous situation for safety sake. Making another turn here as we're going to be working our way back onto another major road out of that residential neighborhood. But LAPD really working it this evening. They're staying right behind this car, keeping that safer distance. We did see that attempt at the pit, and when that did not work, that driver got a lot more aggressive. Take a look, though. That's one of the things that LAPD has been talking about with their pursuit policies, is even though that light was red, they are in pursuit. they come to a stop, even with their lights and sirens. They're going to slow down. They're going to make sure that no people on the roadway are going to run that light, and there's safety. That's safety-minded. That's what these guys are trained to. That's one of their big things. It says so right on their door: serve and protect. So they want to protect the public from any type of harm, especially from them. So right now, though, this car's continuing on. We're heading eastbound, definitely in the Long Beach area. Haven't seen any Long Beach PD getting involved, which is interesting, but the streets he's picking, we're getting closer and closer to the downtown area, and you can see it's getting a little bit tighter. This guy's getting a little bit more desperate, using that center lane. LAPD still right behind him. Stolen vehicle, that's what we understand it is. They're going to try. I know this street. No. Orange and 7th, I know exactly where they are. Well, Walnut. Northbound Juniper. Well, we just made a northbound turn off at Juniper, off of one of the numbered streets, lower numbered street. Might have even been 3rd. There was a very tight spot in there. There was a couple. It's very active out here. It is Long Beach. That's down by the downtown areas. There's a lot of activities that are going on out there. We've seen people walking dogs. We saw a lot of pedestrians out there on the roadway. Pretty sure, I can almost guarantee you, it is just the driver inside that vehicle. Now we're going back up. We're going northbound again, so the numbers are going to start getting bigger. We just passed 7th Street. We're on Juniper. And this vehicle really not getting those crazy high speeds, but definitely no regard for any type of slowing down or stopping. Makes you wonder, maybe the car's brakes aren't working. Gosh only knows. But the driver just keeping enough speed there. Whoops, oh, it looks like something's going on right there. Getting a little tight underneath the tree. Our pilot is going to move the helicopter around. Somebody's got the door open. basically, I don't know if this is unintentional or what's going on, but this guy's just getting out of his car like, hey, I don't know what's going on here, buddy. I'm just going to leave that door open. I'm surprised that that driver doesn't just close that door by just driving through there. LAPD, they've got their guns out. Really got to wonder what that was all about. That vehicle now stopped, hands are out. You know, if it was just as simple as a door to block the car, that is some unusual stuff for sure. Right now, though, this guy just getting out like he knows what he's got to do. He's got his hands up, stepping away from the vehicle, and you can see LAPD. This is Harbor Division of LAPD down there. They've got their weapons out. They're not playing around. This guy doing his little dance right now, basically following what the LAPD officers are telling him to do. It's so bizarre, though, that he just kind of came to a stop when that other car just opened up the door. Don't know what that was all about. You can see the car, the other car, the white one there in the shot, in the middle of the roadway. But there would have been enough room just to get by if he would have just kind of kept moving. But that guy on the ground right now, LAPD, their weapons out. Cuffs aren't on him, but this thing definitely coming to an end out here in the Long Beach area. Let's go back around. Yeah, that's right. They would just pop the trunk. They always do, just to make sure that there is nothing suspicious or something that they don't want to have in that trunk in there. They always have to clear that vehicle, make sure that everybody is out. They just did that right there. The guy that was in that car, it's unusual. He just kind of walked off. We're going to look around, see if we can get a glimpse of where he went. But it does look like just Joe Citizen out there this evening. What that was all about, I don't know, and it'll be very interesting to find out in the end. If you look at the shot, though, it's pretty much, if he wanted to, he could have just bumped that door closed and could have kept on going. But we weren't down there. We don't really know. We're just up here watching and checking out what's going on. But that person in custody, this pursuit, now over, no injuries. Simon Desk, I'm sure you're going to want Good Samaritan's license plate. Hopefully we can get it in this helicopter, and then I'll get right back to you. Newer Honda Accord. It's going to be 7 Yankee Echo Bravo 375. That's going to be 7